Hi, everybody. Welcome back to JC Sports. We are back after a week and a half pause of no sports content for all you loyal, what do we call them, maniacs last time? What did we say?
We were gonna call them JC Mania. I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
JC Mania. So, all you, all you JC Mania fans out there, we're back with another
We're
podcast.
sorry for we've been super busy the last couple days, but I definitely found time today. I have a whole hour to record today,
Yeah,
so
Cameron had like practice. I got work, and I had to take the SAT yesterday. So we got a lot of stuff going on, but we are back with sports news, our main passion, and I gotta say, there is a lot of stuff that we gotta talk about today. So
yep.
we got like a lot of free agent signings. We got some very specific news with a certain Texans quarterback who's back at it again. Um, NHL news. We got college basketball this week. Oh man, we got a lot. This might be a little bit of a doozy.
Yeah, this one may be like 5 minutes longer due to the sole fact that we have March Madness included in this one now.
Well, we got March Madness, and we have to catch up just a little bit from like stuff that
Yeah, because it's been a whole week and a half of
because it's been
news,
like
and
a whole
people
week
don't
and a half.
realize
Because usually we
the
record on
media release.
Mondays.
Yeah, the media releases way too much stuff in a week, and when you add an extra couple of days, you get a lot more.
Yeah,
But so
no.
let's start out with a bang here. Let's talk about Kenny G to the Giants. What's your opinion?
Kenny G to the Giants. Okay, so I like this deal, and here's what it's doing. The Giants front office and Dave Gettleman are saying, okay, Danny Dimes, we've drafted you with the what was it, eighth overall pick, sixth overall pick, something like that.
Right.
They drafted him a couple years ago. He's been their starter. He has like 26 starts under his belt, so he's not inexperienced by any stretch of the imagination. And they're saying, okay, Danny Dimes, you're getting Saquon back next year because he was out all of last year. We're giving
Right.
you Kenny G, we're giving you Darius Slayton, and we're giving you Sterling Shepard, which are very good receiving options. And you also have Evan Ingram, who's what he's still
Evan
not
Ingram
a
shows flashes of really, really good. I think on a different. I mean, I know it's different, but Evan Ingram, he definitely shows flashes. But I think he's a useful tool, especially with everything else. So keep going though.
he's definitely a useful tool. And so the Giants front office are saying, all right, if you can't do this with this kind of core this year, you're the problem. And
Right.
they're basically putting the onus on him to have a good year and lead the Giants to the playoffs in what might be another weak NFC East division.
I mean, in all honesty, I look at it. The Cowboys have a chance of doing okay. The Giants, with the talent that they're adding, I think with the right motivation, and momentum, I think they have a chance of doing well. Washington's going to be a throw up, so I gotta look at it. And in all honesty, if the Giants don't make the playoffs, because in reality, again, I think the Cowboys and the football team are a toss up right now. So um, it's not like you're in the AFC North or the NFC or the NFC North, right? Yeah. No. I'm sorry, NFC West. It's not like because the NFC West, they're all good teams over there. It's not, it's good. That's going to be a tough division this year, and the AFC North is going to be a tough division, like it always is. The NFC, that division, it's gonna. I don't know. It's the Giants should be able to do what they've done in the past and at least crawl themselves into the playoffs. I mean, they've
Oh
been in the
yeah,
playoffs in what, 5, 6 years?
probably a little less than that, probably like four. But yeah, you're right. And like they just signed Adoree Jackson, who's not even on our notes because it was so recent. This cornerback coming from the Titans, and 3 years, $39 million. So it's really like and they added Kyle Rudolph too to bolster their tight end core with
Right. No.
alongside Evan Ingram. So it's really kind of like if it's putting the onus on Danny and to an extent the coach Joe Judge.
Right. And I like I said, I seriously think um, they should be able to execute this year. But I mean, we've said the same thing. I've said the same thing about teams in the past, especially the Giants. They've had their chances.
Mm-hmm.
And I always feel as though, unfortunately, the Giants they can come in with this talent and they just don't execute. They haven't in years, and this year was a very very mediocre year for them. The year before this was a mediocre year for them.
Yeah,
So
and they're really saying we put it all together this year. If you can't do it this year, you're the problem.
Right. So let's talk about Justin Simmons, the free safety. What I think personally, I think it was a good seal for Denver to take him long term. But I'm very interested to see what you have to say. I would think you would agree with me on this, but
I absolutely love this signing. Justin Simmons has blossomed into one of the best safeties in the league in these past couple seasons. He loves Denver. He wants to be there. They're set up to have a pretty good defense with the return of Von Miller and of course Bradley Chubb. 4 years, $61 million is a steep price to pay for a safety. Not one of the more like important positions, but he is a very special player.
right. No, even though strong safeties are usually the more important out of the safeties, um, I think. Sorry for moving back. I dropped something. My fault. But I think he's a big part of this Denver team, and I think signing him to a long-term deal was smart, and I think it was a good option by Denver, especially because unfortunately Denver had a huge letdown with Drew Lock. And I know it's a different position, but they just need whatever they can get that's going to hold the team together right now. So I think Justin Simmons to Denver was smart. So
Hmm.
I don't have much more to say about that. It's not like he's a super controversial signing. So what do you think? What do you think about Trent Williams? I think
So Trent Williams, and this is kind of a funny story. So Trent Williams is very good tackle. I don't think anyone who watches who listens to our podcast probably already knows this. And he got
right.
traded from the football team to the 49ers. And so he signed a $138 million deal for 6 years with the Niners, making him the highest paid tackle. Now here's the thing. David Pakatari of the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers' blindside protector, also signed a 6-year, $138 million deal. But I think it was like Trent Williams' deal was like for $1,000 more or something, so he could be the highest paid tackle in the league. And I thought that was just really funny.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's no question he's definitely not one of the best, if the best offensive tackle in the league. So Um, I don't think I know a lot of people are saying a lot of people say offensive linemen shouldn't be paid that much. Man, you know what? I think he deserves 138 million dollars, and I don't think anybody's going to argue with me on that. And if they do, I'll just show them statistics and I'll show them how much a quarterback needs him. So I definitely think the $1,000 is a little bit funny, but yeah, I definitely there's no arguing that was a very good signing by them. There's no there's no arguing it. Yeah,
Well,
how
they're
can you
really
say
set up to attract a quarterback because they're kind of
they
like
need they need
Jimmy
something else.
G.
Jimmy G is not the guy for them, and I will say that. I agree. Jimmy G is not the guy for
They
them.
can
He's
make it to
not.
the playoffs with him, but I like.
No. He's prone to injury. It's not like he's an exceptionally talented quarterback for NFL standards. They need some guy that's going to be able to lead the offense with the amount of talent they've got on the team because most of George Kittle, he's prone to injury, but he's an all-time tight end right now. So I mean, you've got a lot of tools on this team. I think with Jimmy G, you maybe go 9-7 or 10-6, but with a more talented guy, you may get to a 12-4. You know.
Hmm.
But anyways,
Let's
let's
talk
move
about
on.
the three Washington football team signings that really made a splash with all their
Right.
cap space. So they, of course, released Alex Smith earlier in the year, and to recoup that, they have signed the man, the myth, the legend himself, Fitzmagic, to his ninth
Yes,
NFL deal.
sir. Fitzmagic.
What do you think?
Look, Fitzmagic's had a very up and down career, and I really felt bad for him in Miami because I don't know what Tua's made of. So Tua, they're gonna give Tua a shot this year, I think. But I think they should have stuck with Fitzmagic this year. So he started the year okay. He didn't start bad. So Ryan Fitzpatrick. If you remember, what teams has he been on? He's been on the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins,
Texans.
the Texans, the Buccaneers,
Oh yeah,
and now we're going to the Washington football team. So
well-traveled guy.
he's a well-traveled guy, and it's not like I think it was a smart thing considering right now Washington football team doesn't have a lot of tools. They need to start somewhere.
Well, I think they actually could have a sneakily good offense this year, and this will get to one of our other signings for the Washington football team. Now they have the two Ohio State guys. They've got Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin
Right.
leading their receiving core. Then they've got sneaky good Logan Thomas, who is actually not a bad tight end at all. He's better
Right.
than a lot of
No.
people think last year. And they've got Antonio
I
Gibson, who was a third-round rookie who went off, who rushed for 1,000 yards in his rookie season.
I mean, yeah. Look, I'm not saying that they're a bad team. I mean, I don't think that they're the best team in the NFL by any standards, but But I definitely think that I just think they need a guy that can lead the huddle. They don't need anybody that's going to be too crazy right now. Just somebody that can do what the coach asks him to do, and that's what Fitzpatrick does. So, and he can have his Fitzmagic moments. So, like you said, I think they could maybe sneak by with a 9-7 or something like that, and do a second year in the playoffs without a losing record.
I think their
of course.
ceiling's higher than that personally, but let's whiz through these other free agent signings. We'll just give them a quick synopsis. So we got Hunter Henry going to New England. They're going to recreate Gronk and Hernandez with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry over in Foxborough.
Look, when you look at the talent Bill Belichick had this year, they should have gone 3-13. In my opinion, the way Cam Newton played, they should have gone 3-13, 4-12. For them to go 7-9, and he had talent to that team. Unfortunately, the evil empire, they don't fail with Bill Belichick on their side. He's probably the greatest coach of all time. So, unfortunately,
I like it. We were texting about it earlier in the week, and I was firmly opposed to it, but I've started to come around a little bit as the week has gone on.
Look, if Bill Belichick can lead a 7-9 season with Cam Newton having one of the worst years of his career, if not the worst, with the amount of talent that he lost on that team, with this talent, he probably can go 9-7, 10-6, maybe even better than that. So probably even better than that. He'll find a way. He'll find a way to make the playoffs. He always does. So I think, unfortunately, especially because they're one of Baltimore's biggest rivals, it's gonna suck. But I think for New England standards, it's a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Shaq Griffin and Marlon Jones. Marvin Jones. I'm sorry, Marvin.
Okay, so like, I'm not sure about these moves. I'm not totally sold because Jacksonville had like so much money to play with, and they got second tier of almost everything.
Right.
Like,
that's what I was telling you. I think that's what I told you when we were doing a big free agency talk. I think Jacksonville is wasting a lot of it because they think they're getting the number one pick. They don't need a lot. Jacksonville is the worst team in the National Football League. Besides, the Jets are a close second, but they are the worst team. They need more than just a star rookie quarterback, and they're not really doing much with the amount of money that they've got.
Well, they had a lot of money to throw around, and it's just like second tier options. It's very odd, and I mean they're not bad players. Marvin Jones and Shaq Griffin are very good players in their own right, but not really good players. I mean, Shaq Griffin's totally underrated. I think Marvin Jones can be a solid number 2, but he's not a number 1, and they don't really have a number 1. They have DJ Chark and what's his name, Laviska Shenault over there.
Right. Yeah.
So those aren't really number 1 options to me.
No, I just but to be honest with you, they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence, and yes, Trevor Lawrence is the best college quarterback. We don't know what he's going to do in the NFL. We've seen so many draft busts. We don't know what he could do. I don't think anybody thinks he's got a good percentage of being a draft bust, but you never know. I mean, it happens. So it's not like you can just rely on this Trevor Lawrence pick to save the day, because a lot of the times that doesn't happen. He just turned out to be an average NFL quarterback. Being a quarterback in the NFL versus being a quarterback in college are two completely different things, no matter what division you play at. And I think with the amount of money they had, they should have picked up players that can feed around him, or he can feed around, to at least get them to a decent season. But I don't think it's going to happen. They're just wasting their money at this point, I think. And I don't think they're bad players, but I just think they should have gone with a lot more reasonable decisions. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little bit upset at Jacksonville right now. But you know what? I'm not a Jacksonville fan, so it doesn't matter.
Let's talk about a team we are a fan of, kind of. Juju resigns with the Steelers for $8 million, despite better offers, more money from Kansas City and Baltimore, both.
Us Baltimore fans, I would have loved it. I don't like the way Juju is as a person. I think he's cocky, but honestly, we need receivers here. Juju's a really good receiver. I would have taken him. If he came to Baltimore, I would have all of a sudden loved him.
Especially at that price, honestly.
Yeah, he was offered more money over here. And I don't know what it is about him and the Steelers, but he wants to sign back with Pittsburgh, and that's not good for him.
He wasn't going to, but whatever.
Somehow they got him to, because he's not the main receiver right now, and I don't know. I think he would be over here in Baltimore, and I think that's what we should have. I think that's probably what we told him is, look, we need receivers. You'll be the main guy. We'll sign you.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen.
Nope, unfortunately, it didn't.
Let's talk about a very controversial signing we got here, Andy Dalton.
Oh,
quarterback 1 of the Chicago Bears.
The Bears could have done anything, and they decided to draft the man that fell off
They
Really? You
decided to pick
decided to
up the
draft?
red rifle Andy Dalton.
Nah, man. He's a mediocre quarterback at this point. He's probably worse than Mitchell Trubisky, I feel like, at this point. Mitchell Trubisky at least has the talent to do something. Andy Dalton, it just isn't there anymore. And for them to tell him that he's going to start, and they could have had so many other draft options. Hell, I would have taken Jimmy G over him. So,
That is a weird
yeah,
signing. I hate
when
it.
I saw that, I was like, I had to open my eyes again. I was like, what? Hold on, what? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? Hey, the Bears are going to do what the Bears are going to do. So, it's their decision.
All right, last big free agent signing. We got Will Fuller to Miami on a 1-year deal. And I love this signing. I think it can really help Tua because I mean they have Devontae Parker and
Right.
Will Fuller. I think those are great speed options for Tua to showcase his
Yeah.
game management skills.
And like I said, if you want Tua at his highest level, and I think Tua is a talented quarterback. He is. Tua is a very talented quarterback. If you want Tua to perform at Tua's level, build around him, and they're doing that. And I don't know if Tua's going to be the guy for Miami, but this is the sure way to see if he is. So I want him to be. I like Tua. He's a lefty. I'm a lefty. I like lefties no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this is the right move for Miami, especially because the way Miami performed this year with the amount of talent that they didn't have on that team, for them to go 10-6 is impressive. So, I see that this is going to be the right move. But anyways, let's move on to a little bit more of a serious topic here, just for a little bit. Let's talk about Desean Watson, unfortunately, being accused of 10 plus counts of sexual assault.
So like
Jackson,
it's a very
lost for words
weird
right now.
topic right now. So
Yeah.
like I think it was like 15 or 16 separate women like masseuses have come forward and accused him, and it's really sad because A, he did it and he's a total douchebag, or B, it's like a smear campaign.
It's like I told
Or
you.
maybe a combination of both. I don't know.
No, like I told you on the phone a couple when we were talking, or not on the phone. We were texting about it a couple of days ago. You know what? If he didn't do it, I feel horribly bad for him. I feel horrifically bad for him for them putting this under his name. But if he did it, I think he deserves what he gets.
I mean, obviously. I mean, the part is that there's going to be a bad guy in the story, no matter what. It's either going to be Desean or it's going to be, falsely accused to lower his trade value or some other reason. Which is, it's kind of sad to see that if that happens, that it would be used that way. Because obviously you want to believe these women, but you just don't know.
You never know, right? I mean, yeah, we never will know whether he's acquitted or not. We'll never know.
We'll keep you updated on that. It's kind of a sensitive topic, and we're obviously not legal experts considering we're
right.
some
And
dumbasses in high school.
this is supposed to be a laid back podcast, so we're not going to talk about it so much. Like I said, whether he's found not guilty or not. Trials are wrong, but also trials are right. So I don't want to talk about it too much. He could be, he couldn't be. There's no right or wrong right now.
We could speculate for days and.
Well, not right or wrong. There's no yes or no. I mean, obviously it is wrong, but there is no yes or no just yet. But we'll keep you guys updated. We don't want to talk too much about it. Let's move on to March Madness. Let's go on to a happier subject. Number 15, Oral Roberts becomes the second 15 seed. I'm in shock.
I love March Madness so much. It's so much fun to watch because it's just the first few days are just endless basketball, and it's so much fun because I don't think I would be able to keep that up for like a full season, but just 2 days of just basketball just in your face is just so nice. I love it.
Every time I come home from practice every night, I'll be like, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna put March Madness on." He'd be like, "Sure," and I'll just sit there watching every night. It's fun because in my opinion, I think NBA basketball isn't as fun to watch as March Madness because in March Madness, every one of those dudes on the court are putting 1,000% at everything just to make sure they get the extra point, and it's so fun to watch the competitiveness of them, having them try and bluff the charging fouls and stuff like that. It's awesome to watch. So I love March Madness, and I'm doing pretty well in my bracket right now. I think I'm in second place or something like that. But I don't know what place.
Oral Roberts though. Oh my God. Don't get me started on that.
Look, man, like I say this all the time, and you know this about football. Momentum is everything, in every sport. If you got momentum, you can win. And right now, Oral Roberts has got a lot of momentum. Now they're gonna be facing some real good teams.
They beat Ohio State. Ohio State was not prepared for them. and
No.
then they used that momentum. Number two, Ohio State. I think it was like the fifth ranked team or something like that in the
Right.
country.
Yeah.
And then they go and beat the Gators, number 7 ranked Gators, and it has just blown the Midwest region wide open.
Like I said, momentum is everything. Now they're going to be facing teams that are all teams in the Sweet 16 or championship contenders at this point. So just as much as them, now they're going to be facing teams that everybody expected to get to the Sweet 16. I said momentum is everything, but you could see the same thing that we've seen in the past. Either these teams with momentum come in and beat them, or these higher seed teams they do what they're meant to do and they roll over the lower teams. I guess we'll see. It's always fun to watch though, because no matter who Oral Roberts plays, Oral Roberts now we know are going to play physical and they're going to play hard no matter who they play. So every time Oral Roberts is going to be playing in March Madness, I've been watching it because it's always one of the more fun games in my opinion.
I feel like I need like an Oral Roberts Golden Eagle shirt or something like that.
I always like to watch the lower seed games because these lower seeders that are playing these higher seeds, they always put everything at it no matter what. Like they're putting everything at it because they know that they're the underdogs. So I always like for example, Albany Christian, like that game was great.
Oh yeah, I picked that game by the way. So
Ohio, I picked the Ohio game, and I was super shocked when Ohio just blew out, or not blew out, but they beat UVA. I was like, wow.
That was kind of an expected upset though. I picked Abilene Christian, and I picked them because of their smothering, and it's such a different defense that they play versus everyone else in the nation, and they forced like 23 turnovers in their game against Texas. And obviously, the team they faced after, who did they face after? But the team after picked up on Texas's mistakes and did not give the ball over as much.
See, I honestly, purposely, I only picked Ohio because I know people that go there, and I was like, you know what? I know people that either work at Ohio or whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick Ohio in my bracket, and it worked out. So
UCLA beat them by 20. Abilene Christian could not get over 50 points. So yeah, they were shooting like 30% from the floor, but they were playing such smothering defense that somehow they pulled off that win.
No, like I said, once these smaller teams get past the first round, and you start to see the teams get better and better. Every team that makes it past each round gets better and better because they get past those rounds for a reason. And when you get these smaller teams that are doing what nobody expected them to do, and then they face these really, really good teams, they either do what they've been doing or they get steamrolled because that's what these bigger teams are meant to do. But let's talk about
another big team going down. The Illinois Fighting Illini going down to the Loyola Chicago.
Oh my goodness!
That was crazy. I was watching that game, man. Ayo Denesumu could not do anything. They're their superstar, their senior superstar.
Yeah.
And that was just crazy. Loyola Chicago had the sister Jean. Of course, they had their Cinderella. I think they were like an 11 seed or something. They made a run a couple of years ago, and they made it to the Final Four, I think.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you got Oregon State going to the Sweet 16. I picked them to go there too.
Oh, me too, actually.
So
Illinois State, that was a good game against Oklahoma State. They played. It was really back and forth game. It was closer than the score said. Another team that we should have expected to go this far is number 11 Syracuse, of course beating San Diego State and West Virginia.
Right. Now, Syracuse, I expected them to do something with it. I didn't pick them to go past round of 32, I think, but they did. So I was wrong about that one. But this year's March Madness, I think, is a little bit extra special because, with COVID and everything, it's a lot different. These guys that are playing haven't seen crowds in months, so it's a little bit different now.
Speaking of the COVID, the VCU Rams lost by basically forfeit to the Oregon Ducks because they had a COVID outbreak on their roster, and of course you can't play, and the tournament has to move on because of how quickly it moves. Like, you don't have time for that.
No, you don't. And unfortunately, it sucks. But I mean, COVID has kind of ruined every sports team, every sports organization.
It's caused delays, and you just in March Madness, like, that's not a thing.
You can't, no.
Because the first 2 rounds are played over the course of like 4 or 5 days. Like, you just can't have
Right,
that.
no. So let's talk about Gonzaga being the first undefeated team since the 2015 Kentucky Wildcats. And I think I put Gonzaga to win it all, but you've seen a lot of undefeated teams. The mighty shall fall at least once. You
Hmm.
saw the 18-1 Patriots. You saw the 50. You saw the 17-2 Carolina Panthers. You saw the Kentucky didn't win.
Kentucky, yeah, a couple of, like 2015, the Wildcats.
Yep, they didn't win. And Gonzaga, they've got a target on their back. Everybody wants to beat them. Granted, I don't think anybody's going to, but I mean, people. I've got Villanova and Gonzaga in the championship.
Oh,
But
Villanova, that's an odd pick.
yep,
Without
I
Colin
know.
Gillespie?
I've got to have some fun in my bracket, right?
I don't think they can make it that far, but I
No,
will
you
give
never.
you
Hey, you
one. I
never
will give
know.
you
You
one
never.
underdog, kind of underdog that I really like, and I don't know why no one's talking about them. Is Alabama, and
Yep.
I'll give you why. Because Alabama, their entire team is on fire from the 3-point line. I don't know if you watched the Maryland game, but they were raining down threes on Maryland. Maryland didn't even play that badly. Maryland, of course, is our team, seeing as that's where we're from. But Alabama was absolutely raining threes down. They could not stop the flow, and I really like Alabama because they play great defense under I'm trying to think of their coach's name. I can't think of their coach's name, but they play great defense and they are fire from the 3-point line.
Yeah, yeah, I think they're underdogs. I obviously think they're better teams in the bracket, but um, like I said, this whole March Madness this year is a little different. You got a lot of teams that are going to show up and a lot of teams that aren't. And I honestly missed it because didn't they canceled it last year, didn't they?
Yeah, they can't. It's fully canceled.
That's why I feel so different about it. Is I miss it, man. But anyways, we're running a little bit late on time, so let's move on to dugout talk. My favorite topic of the night. Besides March Madness was pretty fun tonight actually, because I love March Madness. But let's move on to dugout talk, and I'm super excited because opening day is in a week. Um, and I just missed baseball. So let's talk about Mike Trout's apparent figuring out his swing. Because last year, Mark Trout still hit well. Mike Trout still hit well, but not as well as we've seen him in the past 8 years. So that's good to hear he's figuring out his swing. Because if you're in
Mark
baseball,
Trout, Mike Trout's autistic brother.
if you play baseball or you know baseball and you don't like Mike Trout, then nobody in the baseball community will ever like you because you have to like Mike Trout. There's nobody you can't like Mike Trout. He's the best player in baseball.
Did
But
you like say that in an interview, or is it just like he's just doing
yeah,
that?
I said it. I think that's where they got the quote from, is he was talking about it in an interview. But again, opening days of 1 week. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the competition in divisions like the NL West and the NL and the NL East. I can't wait to see the competition in the AL East. AL Central is going to be not as competitive, but there's going to be a lot of competitive divisions this year. Um, of course, I'm a little bit mad about the Orioles. 0.0
I think we
chance.
talked about that like last week, where
I
you
know,
like the
I know,
fan
I know,
graphs
but
being
I'm still a little bit
0.0%.
still upset about the 0.0% chance. I mean, they only gave Detroit, I think, a 0.2% chance, but you know what? They at least got a percentage, right? So let me talk about my highlight for the week. Um, if you guys want to go watch it, it's actually on MLB.com, MLB's Instagram. Jose Iglesias with the Angels making a diving play towards second, throwing it over, sitting down. Um, yeah, we haven't seen a lot of those plays this spring training, and Jose Iglesias just was traded this year from the Orioles. Um, wow. Like I said, this just makes me miss baseball. Seeing like outstanding plays like that. He no doubt gets the play of the week. That's my dugout talk for the week. Let's head it over to penalty box with Jackson.
All right, so penalty box. So the biggest NHL news of the week is not one that's honestly great for the league or for the sport in general. So I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. So official Tim Peel is refereeing a Nashville Predators Detroit Red Wings game, and so it's like 1-0, and like he's caught on a hot mic saying that he wants to give the Predators a penalty. And obviously, like in sports, like you can't want to give a team a penalty. That's not how it works. And so this is kind of like it plays into something that everyone knows, but no one really talks about, is the concept of makeup calls. So, for example, you're an official. your officiating crew makes a mistake. Give one team a penalty when they probably shouldn't have gotten a penalty. You call another penalty later to kind of tilt the ice back, and you say, okay, well, that was our bad. We'll fix it, and we'll call this penalty that wasn't also really a penalty and kind of even it out.
Yeah, I mean, it I don't know, man. It's controversial. I'm not a big hockey person, but anything like this, it gets me a little bit upset. But I'll let you continue. But I don't know. It's a confusing thing.
Well, yeah,
Go ahead.
he's
Go
since
ahead.
been fired. He's banned from officiating in the NHL. But it's just like, it's kind of something that happens. But I feel like it's the NHL kind of covering their tracks because they want the games to be interesting. They want to tilt the ice so it's more even. They don't want to have blowout games that no one watches because it doesn't make you money. So I feel like this is kind of the NHL covering their tracks and kind of Tim Peel's the scapegoat. Like, obviously it's not just him. Everyone does it. He just happened to get caught. I mean, it's just how it kind of goes.
Yeah, it's kind of. I don't. It's unfortunate. The unfortunate side. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just the kind of the dark underbelly of sports. Because
Yeah.
we like to think in our minds that it's pure and, you know, everything is naturally happening. But really, leagues want to have close games. They want to have those dramatic finishes so that you watch. And I mean, we can't deny it in our head that it happens. But we like to think it doesn't because it makes it more enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Anyways, go ahead. Is that all you had, or do you have
No, I got a little
something?
bit more. The Isles Anders Lee has been ruled out for the season with an ACL injury. So this really means the Isles are a really good team right now. They are, I think, at the top of the East. They played a couple more games on the Capitals this year so far, so they're currently at the top of the East Division, and they could be extremely active on the trade deadline and looking for that rental that can kind of push them over the edge to cup contention this year. And of course, last year they made it to the Eastern Conference Final, but couldn't make it past the Lightning, who were on fire. But I think they could really use just a push over the edge. So somebody like Nashville's Victor Arvidsson would be a great fit for them if they could give up like an early round pick for that. And I think they could possibly have a chance if they do something like that. But the Bruins and the Habs are on COVID pauses. COVID strikes again. After having like a league low, it was like 2 players on COVID protocol. We're back up to having teams on pause again, which is disappointing because less hockey. But the Maple Leafs have hit a skid recently. They're currently tied with the Oilers atop the North Division. McDavid and Draisaitl, the 2 main players of the Oilers, have been absolutely on fire. McDavid hit this crazy goal like from his knees the other day. Oh my gosh, it was a beaut. It was a beaut. And Kalle Jarnkrok of Nashville is the first star. I've not heard that name in a while. He got 3 goals, 3 assists, and 6 games played. Connor McDavid was the second star, and third star was I forgot. I closed out the tab. But third star, I'm sure you can look it up. But yeah, McDavid and Draisaitl are absolutely lighting it up in the North Division right now. And that's all we have for you today. Sorry about the late entry this week. We'll try to be better at next week.
Yeah, no, I apologize to you guys. We had a lot to do this week. It sucks, but I'm just glad we got it done today. I think we had a good.
We will be for sure ready for you. The next 2 weekends, the next 2 Mondays, we are both off of school. Spring break, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, we will talk to you guys later. Make sure to find us anywhere podcasts are found. Like and subscribe. Have a great week, everybody.
All right, see you guys. Don't